But Islam is quite patriarchal, isn't it? I mean, doesn't the Quran say that men have authority over women?
Well, don't they?
Ooh, let him eat. Let him.
Game to win. Game hard.
Woo! What's going on, y'all? Nick Raw coming to you with another video. Look, check this out, y'all. Please stay tuned for the entire video because I promise you, you probably never heard wisdom like this in your life, all right? Before we get started, let me just say one thing, right? This is a video of a Muslim man that explains the importance of patriarchy, all right? Now, in this video, I am not by no means advocating for you to become Muslim. That's not what I'm saying. However, for those of you who believe in the Bible, who believe in Jesus, right? I want you to understand that the Bible is an Eastern book. It is not a Western book, all right? Contrary to popular belief. It is not a Western book, all right? It is not a Christian book. It is an Eastern book. You could just read it in the name. They talk about Egypt, the Nile River, Mesopotamia, right? I mean, these are all places in the East. So with that being said, you need to understand that there is a culture that follows people that exist, that live in the East. Now, the people of the book, right, the Israelites, they were dispersed throughout time and they were discontinued from their heritage, all right? So the reason why we're watching this video is because if you understand the mindset of people, aka the Muslims, who shared very similar beliefs to the Israelites, right? In terms of their cultural practices, right? It's not verbatim, it's not, one for one, but their culture was extremely similar. If you can analyze what this man is saying, it will give you greater insight on how the patriarchs of the Bible taught.
But Islam is quite patriarchal, isn't it? I mean, doesn't the Quran say that men have authority over women?
Well, don't they? I mean, men are the ones who have been oppressing you all this time, right? I mean, according to your own narrative, men have been running the show. The feminists are asking for their so-called rights. From who exactly? Look, if you didn't have what you call patriarchy, then what you would have is a hell on earth for women. Because clearly, women do not have the power to coerce men, to force men, to make men deal with them this way or that way. If you're out somewhere and a man starts to chat you up and you don't want to be chatted up, what do? You tell him, I have a boyfriend, I'm married, and he goes away. You have to conjure up an imaginary man to get him to back off, because 9 times out of 10, only a man can keep another man in check, because men are inherently more dangerous than women. Instead of patriarchy, replace that word with bodyguard. What makes more sense? For you to be my bodyguard or for me to be your bodyguard? Who do you think is more capable of protecting who? From who? If men didn't protect women, who would? Why, men would do whatever they wanted. And isn't your bodyguard responsible for you? Shouldn't you listen to him if he says, for example, don't go here, don't go there, or let's take this route instead of that route because it's safer? Isn't that authority? But he's doing it for you. Would you feel resentment about that authority? That's irrational. Look, you cannot dismiss the importance of physicality, human physicality. We're physical beings. Technology does not level the field the way you think it does. Let's say you have a business meeting and you have the meeting in a coffee shop. And while you're there, during the meeting, it gets late. It gets very late. And then the meeting is over. Your phone battery is dead. The coffee shop is closed. The client has left. And you came by Uber. Now you're alone in the dark with no way home. If it's me, I'll just walk home. If it's you, you would have been getting nervous and worried throughout the entire meeting, the later it got, worrying about how you're going to get home. You're not going to be worried about being assaulted by a gang of women. And if you were walking in the street by yourself late at night and you see a man coming towards you, which one of the two of you is more likely to be afraid? Who's going to be scared of who? But see, you in the West have confused this. The feminists have confused this. The red pillars have confused this power imbalance with superiority. We don't do that because we don't attach that kind of value to it. It just is what it is. The power imbalance, that literal physical power imbalance, that imbalance in the ability to coerce and exert force and to be violent, is just a fact and a reality of the power imbalance between men and women. But your culture is in love with power. It's in love with force. It's in love with violence. So to you, whoever has the greater capacity for violence, whoever has the greater capacity for being dangerous, then that person is better. The one who can exert his will is better. Whoever has the power to force people to do something is better. And whoever is weaker is less. It's because you admire power so much, and you admire force, and you admire the ability to coerce, that you find yourself resenting that men have authority over women, or the idea, the concept of men having authority over women, because you think it's unfair. You think that women are being deprived. But remove that authority and see how deprived you'll be. Remove that authority and you will be in danger. You will be deprived of your safety. You'll be deprived of your security, your freedom, and maybe your life. In the Muslim world, we're not confused about this. And we don't think in terms of better or higher value on this basis, except in terms of piety and righteousness. And what each person's role is, and what their duties are in society, in the family, all naturally proceeds from their abilities and capacities. I'm not equal to a woman who is more pious than me, but I may have authority over her, because authority does not mean the same thing as superiority. It's just a function. It's just a function that doesn't carry any particular implications about it with regards to value. But your society assigns a value to it that's inappropriate, that is not an obvious value to be assigned to it. You in the West, because you largely become atheist, will make fun of Muslims, will make fun of our intelligence, because, as you say, we believe in fairy tales. You say we believe in a God without evidence. We have no evidence to prove the existence of God, but we believe in him. Meanwhile, you invent a concept, this concept of equality, and treat it as sacred, and you believe in it religiously, with religious devotion, and you demand that everyone believes in it, and no one can dare doubt the reality and the holy truth of the concept of equality, even though all evidence that you are exposed to on a daily basis disproves that concept. So you'll make fun of us, and you'll look down on us, and you'll insult our intelligence for believing in something that you say we don't have any proof for. Meanwhile, you're believing in something for which all of the proof that exists disproves it. You see how incoherent your thinking processes are?
My, oh my, oh my. Man, this guy was talking. This man was, and I'm not saying that in a derogatory way, neither. This man was spitting some straight facts. You know, I really love that what he said when he mentioned the fact that, you know, just because a man has authority over the woman doesn't make him have more value. You see, I think, again, he pointed it out so eloquently. You see, over here in the West, because we have such an infatuation with power, we associate that because somebody may have some level of authority over you, you assume that that person is more valuable or that person is somehow intrinsically better, and it has nothing to do with that. It all goes back to function and your role. You know, it's like the old saying, right? We have a whole bunch of chiefs, but we don't have no Indians, right? Like, everybody cannot be the leader. If you have a household, right, the man is in charge. That's the whole aspect of patriarchy. And then you have the wife, and then you have the children. It is what it is. And you see, as much as women and children may try, and in this case, let's be real, it's mostly the women, but as much as they want to complain about the authority that this man may have, right, which, by the way, was given, that's his God-given right. I mean, the Most High gave him that authority. But as much as women may want to complain about that, you see, take that man out of the equation, and you have literally taken your security, you have taken away your provision. And you see, the thing is, we live in a society today where a woman could just go to work. So there's this illusion, like, oh, I don't need a man, right? Even though that SNAP benefits is your man, the government is your man. You get what I'm saying? So let's keep it a buck, you guys. I mean, women need protection. And the thing is, although you may have this temporary illusion of comfort and convenience because what your job affords you, the moment you have these crazy lunatic men out there that wish to impose their will on you, women, that's when women will start to see the value of the man. And that's why it's so important. And the same thing goes for children. I mean, I don't see children, I can't even say that in this generation, because that's exactly what children are doing. They complaining about the authority of the parents, but take away the parents. Let the child eat whatever they want. Let the child go wherever they want. And when, the literal fire is put on their ass, now they're going to wish they had mommy and daddy again. You see, this is what we need to understand, that the provisions that the Most High has established through the order, it should not, and it should have never been broken. And because it is broken, this is why we have all the single parent homes. This is why we have very effeminate men and masculine women. I mean, everything is out of order. So we need to actually come back to patriarchy. And again, the reason why I was showing this video is because, you see, for those of you who believe in the Bible, you need to understand that this was commonplace. This mindset that this old man was laying out was actually the norm in Israel. It was the norm throughout Israel. And this is why Sarah could call her man, Abraham, master. And she didn't have no reservation to do so. This is the reason why these women could obey their man. You could have someone, could you imagine someone like Ruth literally bowing down before Boaz? Get a woman to do that today. This is a woman that's honorable enough to be written in the book, written in the Bible, and highly regarded, highly revered. But get a woman to do that today. They're too prideful. You see, again, we have completely gone away from the principles of the creator of the universe, the principles of God, Yahweh, Yah. We have totally went away and gotten away from his principles. And this is why we're in the turmoil that we're in. You see, in the eyes of the Most High, nowhere in scripture does it say that man is better than woman. You don't see that. You see, again, because there is no value per se that is placed because of your authority. The authority is placed just because it serves a functional role. Someone has to lead. Someone has to lead. I mean, it's so crazy because we all know this, by the way. I mean, this is nothing new, but we always want to bitch and moan when it comes to relationships. But you will go to your job, your workplace, right? And everybody knows that the boss, the CEO, he's the top dog. He or she is the top dog. And nobody has no complaints. And if you do have a complaint, you definitely don't voice it because you want to keep those Federal Reserve notes, right? So you keep your mouth shut. Whatever they tell you to do, you do it. But then you're going to go home and you were listening to some other man for a good 8-9 hours. But you're going to come home, and when your man tells you, hey, can you give me a massage? You're going to bitch. Hey, honey, can you cook me, so and so? You're gonna moan and complain.
Oh hell no!
I mean, this is what's so psychotic with this generation today. How can you've been listening to another authority figure, but you can't listen to the authority figure in your own household? You guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, because again, I thought that this man really laid it down. There should be no excuses, but let's keep it real. We already know there's going to still be Jezebels who cannot receive this, and there's still going to be a bunch of beta males who want to advocate for the feminist agenda. Hey, I'm not here trying to reach for them. I'm only reaching for those who have the ears to hear, who actually read the Bible and believe it for what it says, and don't want to take away nor add to the book. Those are the people I'm actually trying to reach. Anyway, guys, with that being said, Nick over and out. The message sent. Jesus is king, y'all.